Well, we're at the end. After 21 rounds of racing, we are now here in the finale. This is RPL Season 8, the finale of the game of F122 before we move on to F123. And this is going to be fun. Welcome along, ladies and gentlemen. Titan Ironwolf on commentary today. And as you heard, let's get ready to rumble for the fun time that is round 22 in Abu Dhabi. So, we have both championships clearing out for the season. When the dust settled in Brazil last week, which was our final sprint, TB was the winner in the sprint, with Luke and Reese making up the top three. And then in the main race, Luke wound up claiming another victory. TB was second, and Red Fire with a surprising third. And in the end, when it all said and done, TB became the Season 8 F1 champion. And the insane thing is that the top 5 is all done. TB is your champion. Reese is second. Luke, who is not here, is third. Scytha, who is also not here, he's fourth. Cryptic, who's taking part, is gonna be claiming fifth. But the closest battle right now is sixth place. The Red Bull of Jack with 133 versus the Ferrari of the Chiller with 112. These two will battle it out to see who will get the sixth place position in the World Drivers' Championship. Another battle that's looking to be keeping an eye on is the battle for 10th between Beatnik, who's in the Mercedes, and Red Fire, who is in the McLaren. That fight is for 10th in the Drivers' Championship. Tadpole, who's 9th in the Drivers' Championship, might possibly close in on Jacob if he pulls out a miraculous win. If that is possible, we don't know. And those are some of the battles to note. In the Constructors, Red Bull claimed their fourth or was it fifth? Yeah, fourth straight Constructors' Championship. Ferrari secures it with second, but the battle is for third. Mercedes versus Alpine. One of these two teams will get third place in the Constructors' standings. That's not the only battle going on. AlphaTauri battling McLaren for fifth in the Constructors. Battle between Ferrari Academy teams. Alfa Romeo and Haas battle for the 7th place position. And that's pretty much it. I mean, unless Aston Martin does horrible and Williams does incredibly well, that's the battle for 9th. So, here we go. Okay, so, as you can tell, final race, full grid for everybody. And as you can see, there is quite a few drivers that are retiring. So, you could easily note here, you have Boss Cookie, Jacob, Fanflo, The Chiller, and Lewis Piper. These drivers, these 5 drivers, along with Jacksta, who is right here, who is in this highlighted section here, they all have quali bands that they gotta serve, and those 5 have managed to do theirs. But let's take a look at the drivers that are involved in today's event. So we have Jacksta in the AlphaTauri, Stenner in Williams, Boss Cookie, Aston Martin, Jacob, Alfa Romeo, Kieran, Alpine, Fanflo, Alfa Romeo, Blonde, AlphaTauri, The Chiller, Ferrari, Beatnik, Mercedes, Lewis Piper, McLaren, Cryptic, Ferrari, Owen, Williams, Wavy, Aston Martin, Reese, Red Bull, Jack, Red Bull, Red Fire, McLaren, Depth Knight, Mercedes, Sam Steed, Haas, Tadpole, Alpine, and Globetrotter in Haas. So that is the group there. As you can see, there's Sam Steed, who spun in the final corner. So that means he is going to have to redo his run, as more drivers are filling in to get some times in. Let's go on board with Jack. Jack, by the way, going to AlphaTauri Tier 2 next season. And we'll be on deck and hanging around, possibly to fill in for Red Bull Tier 1 if necessary for any of the drivers there. And that is his role for there. That's also for him being the co-team principal of the Red Bull Academy. So, we're in qualifying. Q1, Q2, Q3. That was 6 out. All the drivers have to do is just set times and we're good to go. I believe whoever is going to be 15th will be going through to Q2, and they'll have to retire again to full-fledged serve their ban, I think, but I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see. As Wavy 26.6 responded by Beatnik with a 24.2, and Jack responds going half a second faster, and that's just for Q1 as of right now. Now, this track, Abu Dhabi, is the perennial finale of the RPL season. We've had the finale happen every year, with the exception of season 2, where we wound up having the finale being Coda. But everything else has always been Abu Dhabi as the finale, and this is what we got here. So, some new sections to note for next season. Obviously, our next season is going to be on the F123 game. Now we do not know when the first round is going to be. I'm going to safely guess it is going to be in the early/mid July. So off of our calendar, if we take a look at it on my screen here, let's see. Well, F123 releases on Friday, June 16th, which is currently 13 days away. But it's also 10 days for those that have the early access. As for when round 1 is going to be, if we give it a couple of weeks to figure out all the bugs and make sure everything is good and hunky-dory, I would probably safely assume either Saturday, July 8th or Saturday, July 15th will be round 1 of the calendar. Reese, as we were checking that out, Reese 23.9, Kieran 24.1. Him and Sam Steed have called it for their run in Q1. Now these guys are obviously going to be going through into Q number 2. Next drivers coming on through. Well, we have Depth Knight coming out of the final corner, and well, 32.9, but he's still in good, competent hands to be fine here. So here comes Stenner across the line, and 12th for him. He's taking it nice and easy. Cryptic coming around the final corner now, and he is going to come across the line to go 3rd fastest. So our bottom 5 knocked out, serving quali bands, is Lewis Piper. He'll be starting 20th. DeChiller will be starting in 19th. Fanflow will be 18th. Jacob in 17th. Boss Cookie will be in 16th. Now Jacksta, I believe even though he retired, I think he might be loading in that he'll be able to quote-unquote participate in Q2, but he'll be starting 15th no matter what. But anyways, some of these guys are working their way through. So that is pretty much basically Q1 all set and done. Now where was I? Oh, yes. So, like I said, July 8th or July 15th is most likely going to be our first round of the championship. Probably stay tuned to our social media channels. Stay tuned to our Twitch, as I will be doing a live stream probably about a week or so before, probably within like a week or so after the game's release, so I can go over the driver introductions of everyone that will be participating in F1 Season 9 and Tier 2 Season 9. Now, the reason I'm mentioning that, those two, and you'll be wondering, what's going on with F2? Well, there are currently a bunch of complaints going about in regards to the driving standards and how things are going in regards to F2. So currently, until further notice, once we figure out what really is going to be happening with F2, either one or two things will be happening. Either F2 will be continuing but under new formats, or F2 is going to be removed entirely from the RPL league. But stay tuned to that. We'll have more info on that as we go forward. So yeah, so with just about 7.5 minutes to go, we'll probably be ending Q1 right about now. Just waiting on Beatnik. He's the only one left to finish things off. But yeah, so as for what's going on next season, I will still be on commentary for RPL F1 Tier 1. As always, I'll always bring over the highlights and high spirits of our best of the best drivers as they continue on forward. As for our social links, we have our Twitch, which we're live streaming on now. If you're liking our content, give us a follow, ring the bell so you'll be pinged on any time that we go live with our races. We also have a YouTube channel. Just look up RPL_XB1. You'll be able to watch all of our past streams and races that we've had over the course of the season. And feel free to subscribe to that channel as well. We also have an RPL highlights channel as well. Hopefully Cryptic's going to be able to get more and more better info with that as we go forward. As you can see on our screen, Jack on top, Reese second, and Cryptic third to wrap up Q number 1. And let's see, is that where it is? Actually, yeah, so these guys are out. Jacksa shows he'll be going through, so he'll have to retire again when we load into Q number 2. So Jacksa will be able to start in the 15th position. So we'll be moving on to Q2 in just a sec. Also for our social media channels, we may, hopefully we will be reviving our RPL Twitter channel. Hopefully we'll be bringing that back into the fold. I believe also maybe our Instagram will also be revived as well. And yeah, so many changes. So many updates. Gotta love the fun. Now, speaking of next season, let's go over the drivers that are going to be around for next season. Let's take a look. Okay, so for Tier 2, every team has been taken, has their seats filled, except for one, being McLaren. They're still looking for their second driver. But here is our group for this one. So Williams, it is going to be FBL and Lando Norris. Yeah, so there's that one. Alfa Romeo is going to be Super Liam Z and JTK. Haas will be Fast as F Gerard and Bonkers 5. Alpine has Slap Up and Tadpole. AlphaTauri will have Jack Miles and Leon in that group, so that will be pretty interesting to say the least. Mercedes has Josh and Wavy Knife participating. Ferrari has Instinct and Invade participating in that team. Aston Martin has literally the driver is called Say with an exclamation point, and Valkyrie, he is that's that group. And Red Bull, the last full team is Owen and George. And last but not least, so like I said, McLaren only has one driver, and that is Patrick. His teammate has yet to be determined as of right now. And speaking of teams yet to be determined, Alfa Romeo is still deciding on who is going to be partnering Stenner in that seat. One driver that will be kept an eye on, that the Ferrari team principal will keep an eye on, Sam Steed. He is a participant to possibly look for it. Oh shoot! I almost forgot. When I mentioned with Tier 2, I said Josh and Wavy were going to be in Tier 2. I almost forgot. Josh is actually not going to be in Tier 2 because, given that he is too fast for Tier 2, he's actually not allowed to participate in Tier 2 Season 9. He's only allowed to participate in F1 Season 9 if there's a spot open. As for F1 Season 9, as drivers are filling in their times, Owen 34-0, he's going to redo his run. Redfire 34-3, he's going to have to redo. Globetrotter 25-1, Cryptic 24-6, and Reese 24-1. Very quick time. Here comes Jack 24-0 for his time there. Depp Knight, let's go on board with him for this lap. As more drivers are filling in their time. So, F1 Season 9 next season. So, Red Bull, the defending Constructors Champions, will have Reese and like I said earlier, the champion, TB. They'll be partnered together. Wavy goes 5th, 25-6. Ferrari has Jacob, who was one of the guys that started the quali ban, and Scyther. They'll be together. Beatnik, who's in the Mercedes, he'll be in the Mercedes next season with Alex Fox, driver that has not been seen since Belgium. They will be partnered together with Mercedes. Ads and Bourbon will be partnered together in AlphaTauri. Next is Lewis Piper and Red Fire. Lewis Piper, you saw a little bit ago, served as quali ban. They'll be partnered in McLaren. Alpine will be IRT Kieran as Depp Knight 24-7, or 4th fastest. Not a bad lap for him. Next two drivers that will be crossing the line is the Alpine. Oh, never mind. Actually, I thought. Oh, Kieran 24-1. Good lord, man, you are fast. Well, speaking of Kieran, him and FRT Flaw will be partnered together in Alpine. Look ride on that success after they wound up collecting 2 wins last season in RPL F1. Aston Martin is going to have Boss Cookie and Cryptic partnered together. So those two will be a credible force in the Constructors' hunt. Williams is going to have Darius and Zakaria partnered together. And last but not least for Haas, it is Casper, aka Globetrotter, and Fanflo teaming together. Stenner is by himself in Alfa Romeo, but like I said, the second Alfa Romeo driver will probably be announced after today's race. Blonde 24.5 to get his time on the board. He's currently a 10th faster than Cryptic. Now Redfire and Owen are out and about getting some laps in. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Had a little... Whoa! I had to cough because I got... I was having trouble trying to get a breath in, and Stenner having trouble on turn 1 exit. Anyway, Sam Steed out on a lap. Tadpole on an out lap. Redfire just starting his. Same with Owen. Now, at the moment, Redfire and Owen are in... right now in the bottom 4. And we know Jacksta is going to be starting P15. But who else will be eliminated from the bottom 4? Well... if I had to take my shot in the dark on who I think it is, that's Sam Steed, 10th fastest. Nice job by him. As who I think is going to be in the top, who I think is going to be in the bottom 4. We'll see what happens after Tadpole crosses. I wouldn't be surprised if Tadpole's in the top 6. Oh, Tadpole's starting a new lap. Never mind. Let's see. Redfire's up next. Well, looks like Redfire's gonna have to redo, I think, because he... Yep, there he goes, spinning out in turn number 14. Yeah, it's turn 14. Now he's got to redo and try again. Here comes Owen now. Owen, a 2-time Tier 2 champion. Wound up getting it because of unlucky race bans and quality bans that affect the Fanflo's run. But Owen, hard fought for him anyways, and he puts it to 12th fastest, only a 10th off of Wavy. Well, if I had to guess who I think the bottom 4 are going to be, Owen is one that's going to be knocked out. I'm sorry for his talent. I mean, he's got the good talent, but I don't think he's going to get into Q3. Not yet. Maybe a little more time, he'll have it done. Holy Jesus, Tadpole. Wow, 23.9. That is an unexpected lap, and this is only Q2. I mean, literally, this is only Q2, and Tadpole is just putting on a storm. Anyway, so Owen, I think, is going to be the first guy one of the guys that's going to be knocked out in Q number 2. Wavy, I think he might miss out. He may miss out on Q2, but not much. Same thing. I mean, jeez. I mean, Sam Steed could possibly see a Q3, but we don't know. Stenner might see a Q3. I mean, literally, it's anybody from 9th to 13th. Those guys are at risk. Are either going to be eliminated or at severe risk of being eliminated. It can go any direction. I just can't definitively say who will be full-blown eliminated from this race. Well, from this Q2. It's hard to tell. So, Wavy out on his lap. Wavy wound up getting a couple of points so far in his RPL F1 career this season. Actually, no, I'm sorry. He's only got one, and that was in the Williams a few races ago. So he managed to get himself into the points. But like I said, Wavy mainly hanging around in tier 2, where he wound up finishing the season in 15th place with 23 points for the McLaren team total, while being with McLaren. And in an F2, well, he didn't have much luck. He only got 9 points in his F2 career for that season. But let's see what Wavy is capable of when he it's going to be starting off his run. So here we go. Up. Oh, that's unfortunate. That is super unfortunate for Wavy. So, unfortunately, I think, unless he does some, he's going to have to be very careful, but I think he could get around and get a time in. He could get a time in just in the nick of time. Globetrotter's just starting his. About to start his final lap. We have Sam Steed, who's improved by a 10th right now. So he's a 10th up in Sector 1. Beatnik is out on track as well. He has a 24.9, but he thinks maybe what I got is not good enough. We'll have to wait and see, but here we go for the finish Sector 2. Wavy is going to be behind, but I think, will he have enough? Will he have enough in the tank to try to improve, to try to make it in time to get another lap in? Meanwhile, Sam Steed, 3/10 up. That's going to put him in P10 right. That's going to put him in P9 at the moment with 3/10 up. Is Sam Steed going to see himself in the top 10 as it comes around the last couple of corners? Now, is Wavy going to make it in time? Yes, he is. Wavy is going to make it in time with only 5 seconds left on the clock. Here comes Sam Steed now, and it is a fastest 24.9 dead center. Well, here comes Beatnik, comes across the line, and he goes fastest 23.8. What a good time there for him. Now moving on to Globetrotter, the teammate of Sam Steed for today only. Here we go as he comes out of the final corner, and Haas switches. It's Globetrotter in 8th. Sam Steed now has to hope and pray. Well, Owen is out, so that's the end of Owen, and Wavy is not improving. Stenner looking like he's not improving. Stenner's only a couple hundredths up after Sector 2. Here he comes across the line. 9 milliseconds, but it's not enough. Here comes Red Fire, and he just misses out by 0.05 of a second. Both Haas's, Sam Steed and Globetrotter, through to Q3. So Owen out, Wavy out, Stenner out, and Red Fire just barely misses out. I mean, literally 34 thousandths of a second separates Sam Steed and Red Fire. And Sam Steed into Q3 in the Haas. I did not expect that. I mean, I thought at least one of them was going to be knocked out, but both Haas's to Q3, that was, I'll admit, that was impressive. And Beatnik, and I guess Beatnik can't believe he's P1 after Q2. So yeah, here's your 10 going through. So Beatnik, Tadpole, and Jack are your top 3, and the rest going through, it is Kieran, Reese, Blonde, Cryptic, Globetrotter, Death Knight, and Sam Steed moving through. Here we are into queue number 3, and the cars are coming out. And let's see who is first out, and it's going to be Sam Steed. So, Sam Steed, this is, crazily enough, this is Sam Steed's first ever Q3 appearance in RPL Tier 1. Sam Steed, so far in his time in F1, he's usually anywhere between usually one of the first 5 knocked out in Q1 or getting through into Q number 2. He's never gotten into Q3 before. He's probably elated to be into Q number 3. Globetrotter, he's been in Q3 at least a couple times this season. We'll see what he's gonna be capable of. He's definitely got to be in the top 10. I'm going to say he's going to be maybe 8th at least. Kieran, multiple times in Q3. He's looking to ride that system going on through. Cryptic, also Q3 appearance for him. Good for many times he's been in Q3. I don't think Cryptic has ever been knocked out in Q2. Well, he's only been knocked out once in Q1, but that's because he had to serve a quali ban. But there's that. Let's see. Depth Knight, another Q3 appearance for him. He was in it last week. Beatnik, quite a few Q3 appearances to his name. Same with Blonde. Reese, always making his mark in Q3 so far this season, as he's coming out onto the track now. I mean, he only didn't get into Q3 one time, and that was because he had to serve a quali ban. Jack, multiple times in Q3. Now, side note about with Jack, what's interesting for him, is he is a multi-time winner in F2. Last I checked, I gotta look again. He is currently the most successful Tier 2 winner in Tier 2 history. But Jack has never won an RPL F1 race. He did once in Season 5. It was Season 5 or Season 6. But he wound up getting that win stripped because of a post-race penalty. But can Jack prove the naysayers wrong and get himself an illustrious win and wind up joining an illustrious club with 9 other drivers with a win in every active F1 tier, RPL tier? Well, he's definitely showing a stride. 23.2 for his mark. Kieran 24.1, Globetrotter 24.3, and Sam Steed 25.3. Meanwhile, Cryptic responds with a 23.3. Restarting his lap. Tadpole coming around now. Oh, nope. Oh, yeah, Tadpole did start his. 23.8. Depth Knight. Yeah, Depth Knight has to redo his. Here comes Beatnik as he comes out of the final corner. Looks like he's going to be in the top 5. Oh, shit. You kidding me? Literally, Tadpole and Beatnik set the exact same time, but since Tadpole got his first, he starts higher. That's wild. You don't see that often. 2 drivers or more with the exact same lap time. You don't see that. You don't see that often. Anyways, here comes Blonde now. So he comes across the line, and it's only 7th fastest for him. Meanwhile, Reese on route to finish him. Now let's see what he's got for a time. And well, Reese goes super wide, and I think it's because of the Alpine got in his way. Wow, that's not fun. And Depth Knight 24.5. So Reese is gonna have to completely redo his time completely. Well, anyways, who do I think is gonna be top 3? Well, you know what? I'm gonna go dead on exact. I think is going to be Jack. Jack is going to be pole. Cryptic is going to be 2nd, and Reese is going to be 3rd. But the gap between for like Reese and Cryptic is going to be not that much. I'm going to say within 0.03 of a second. That's where I think it's going to be. The rest of it, Beatnik's going to get 4. I don't think it matters between the 2 of them, but I think Tadpole and Kieran will occupy row number 3. Depth Knight is probably going to be 7th. Globetrotter will take 8. Blonde 9, and Sam Steed will be 10. And yep, we called it. Reese's time was hindered because of an Alpine, and that Alpine was Kieran. And Kieran is apologetic to Reese for accidentally screwing up his time. He said, Kieran just said I was kind of reversing to the pits and it's on track by accident. And Reese is kind of not happy. I mean, can you kind of blame him? He was looking at a good lap, and then it just went all awry in the final corner. Second. Here we go. So Reese on his out lap, which is gonna be his final qualifying time lap for season 8. Now Reese put up one, like I said last week in Brazil. Reese put up one hell of a fight against TV in the championship. Him and TV produced one of the greatest championships fights that I've ever seen, and it was a great honor to commentate and watch their fights week in and week out, while these two put on a barn burner one week after another. And it's going to be interesting how Reese and TV will coexist as teammates next season, because they were rivals this season. I mean, literally, if I had to coin the phrase for it, these two are basically could be possibly strange bedfellows going into Season 9 F1. And this is what's going to be on. So we're on our way with him down the DRS straight. Let's turn the telemetry on, get into 205 into the chicane. And as he comes out of the chicane, almost immediately into the second DRS zone. Flap comes open. Heads down towards turn number 9 now. Gets to just about 200 miles an hour into the corner. And this is where things is going to get fun. Now into the next couple of corners. Turns 11, 10, 11, and 12. Here we go. Go, fun times. 13, 14. Now in a 15. And the final corner is 16. And across the line he comes. And it's only third fastest with a minute to go. More cars are lining up their times. Let's see. Here comes Kieran. Oh, no, Kieran's on the time lap. Nick 2. Yeah, looks like a lot of these guys are on time laps. Yeah, these guys are on time laps. So, who's first to finish? Looks like in this case it's going to be Tadpole. So here we go. Tadpole only just a hair, about a tenth up. So he's still looking at P4, so he'll improve his gap over Beatnik, who is currently going down the DRS straight. As we note, checker flag is out. Ooh, slightly wide in the turn 13, but keeps it in the limits. As he comes out of the final corner, here he comes. Let's see what improvement he's got. And still P4. Next up, Depth Knight. Well, Depth Knight invalidated, so that is it for him. Reese heading off to the pits. He thinks he's got pole locked down. We'll see who can challenge. Next up, Kieran. Yeah, Reese is all done. Jack thinks he's got pole locked down, so you can challenge it. Here comes Kieran, and it's third fastest. Good God for him. Here comes Beatnik, saves it, but gets fifth. So Kieran gets ahead. Dep Knight closes it off into seventh. Sam Steed stays 10th, and Jack will secure pole position in the finale. Let's see what he's capable for finishing up. Jesus, 22.9. We see our first 22. So Jack on pole, Cryptic second, as I called it, and instead of Reese third, it's Kieran. So looking at this, I have pole second, 8th, 10th. I have just those four right. Everybody else I got wrong. I mean, literally, these two I got right. Kieran was actually going to be in 5th. Actually, no, I got Tadpole right. Because Tadpole was going to occupy row 3. Beatnik was supposed to be where Reese is. Reese was supposed to be where Kieran is. Kieran was supposed to be where Beatnik is. Blonde and Dep Knight were supposed to be swapped. So, literally, I got half the grid right. I got half the top 10 right. Pretty much. Anyways, so we'll be moving on into the final, we're going to be going into the final one. Here we go. So, this is going to be our final grid line down. And this is what we got. So this is going to be fun. So here we go. So let's kick it off our grid here. So front row, it is going to be Jack and Cryptic. They're going to be making up the front row. Then we have Kieran and Reese making up row number 2. Beatnik and Tadpole will make up row number 3. Then we have Blonde and Globetrotter. They'll be making up the row 4's positions. Dep Knight and Sam Steve making up row 5. Redfire Stenner, row 6. Wavy Owen in row 7. Jacksta and Boss Cookie, row 8, they served their quali bands. Jacksta and Fanflo, Alfa Romeo, row 9, they served their quali bands. DeChiller and Lewis Piper rounding out the field, and they were the last to serve their bands. So, here we go, the clock comes down. And for the final time on F122 and the final time in RPL Season 8, the 5 lights come on, and it's lights out, and away we go! Jack gets a good launch, with Kieran with a phenomenal start as they head into turn number 1. Reese gets ahead, Cryptic want to bog him down. Kieran gets a little loose, we have a spinner, that is Globetrotter. Wow, Kieran had a bit of an issue. Boss Cookie didn't get going, and he's done. Boss Cookie then 4 wide into turn number 5. As Beatnik gets sent wide out of turn number 5 with multiple contacts. Tadpole had a bit of a poor start. Kieran had a bit of a poor start. Cryptic got a bit bogged down on the start as they head into the chicane for the first time. 3 wide into there, squashing. And that is a squashing between Beatnik, Jacob, and Redfire as they head into there. 4 wide again as they head 5 wide. Are you kidding me? Almost 5 wide down the second straight. And as they hit it, whoa, we got a spin. That is Owen around, and he's got Fanflo for company with him. I mean, Fanflo had nowhere to go. In that instance, we caught that on stream. Owen went for a slide. Fanflo comes in. They want a tangling. I mean, literally, Fanflo had nowhere to go. Tadpole caught off worse. Stenner, Globetrotter also came out bad. And Stenner muscling around with Globetrotter, trying to get back onto the circuit. but just can't seem to do it. There goes the contact and a little bit of spin, and Jacob goes for a spin as well. Multiple drivers into the pits. Holy Christ. That was troublesome. Oh Lord. And that's the end of center and that's the end of center and Jacob, and that's a safety car. That is a safety car. So as we move on, we are ready to go here. So we have Jack leading the way with Reese in second, Cryptic third, Kieran 4, Depth Knight 5, Redfire 6, Jax 7, Lewis Piper 8, T'Chiller 9, and Wavy is in 10th place. Then we have Globetrotter 11, Blonde 12, Sam C 13, Owen 14, Fanflow 15, Tadpole 16, and Beatnik in 17th. So we had wreck between Jacob and Stenner. That was not a good wreck there. Boss Cookie DQ'd because AI didn't bother moving. That is that in there. Let's take a look at the tires that these guys had, excluding the ones that wound up stopping. So we have the top 11. So we have Jack, Cryptic, Globetrotter, Redfire, Jacksta, Lewis, the Chiller. Those guys are on hards. Wavy, Depth Knight, Reese, and Kieran on mediums, and that's what they started on there. so safety car is already in. Jack is gone. And Reese responds pretty good to Jack's response. And we're back underway in Abu Dhabi F1. So here we go. So Reese, we're on board with him. Woo! Car gets a little evil out of turn 1. Go on board. Swing back to Cryptic as you're looking at the back end. There is Kieran right there. As we know, we got a little further back. Lewis Piper being hunted by the Chiller, and Lewis Piper chasing Jacksta down. This is a battle for 7th. Jacksta feeling the pressure of one McLaren behind him and a McLaren ahead of him. And it looks like, look at Globetrotter down the outside and gets ahead of Wavy and up into 10th place. Wavy unfortunately got stuck on the outside out of the exit of the chicane and falls to P12 now as we head off towards the further back of the field. We have Fad Flo as he's chasing Sam Steed and Owen down. Owen all over the back of Sam Steed as they head into the next few sections of corners. That is looking good there. I mean, those guys there. Well, let's go back further up front. Lewis Piper still chasing. Whoa, hello. Owen went off. Did Faflo collide with Owen? Oh, we got even more trouble. Kieran and Death Knight, they came together. Yeah, Kieran and Death Knight came together and they were battling for the 4th place position. Well, that was interesting. Wait, so here comes Blonde down the inside against Globetrotter. Meanwhile, Sam Steed down the inside against... No, down on the outside against Wavy. So Sam Steed recreates what his teammate does against Wavy and is up into the points. Globetrotter has to lose a position to... to Blonde. Meanwhile, Tadpole trying to recover his way up. On board with him. Whoa, Lewis Piper spun. And Owen and... Nope, is that Owen involved? Nope, Lewis Piper just trying to control his car. What was Lewis Piper prior to that? Well, Jack just set the fastest lap. DRS is now enabled. Alright, so here comes Beatnik. There's his teammate. Maybe. No. Wavy actually fights him off. Lewis Piper into the pits. He is out. So, unfortunate for Lewis Piper. That's the end of him. That's our 3rd retirement of the Grand Prix. That's probably not the way Lewis Piper would have wanted, to say the least. But anyways, Beatnik trying to recover. Being challenged by Kieran, who's recovering as well after collision with Death Knight. Wow. Jacksta, Wando clearing red fire to get into 4th. There's the Chiller right there. Going to the outside again. Both of them 3 wide into turn 9. He's going to blink first. Oh boy. Woo! That was too close. Little wheel scuffing, and Red Fire had to back off. Oh, contact between Jackson and the Chiller. The Chiller wanted to get a little loose and falls to 7th. And Blonde now gets ahead, up into 6th. So the Chiller has to settle for 7th after a little contact between him and Jacksta while they were fighting for the 4th place position. Meanwhile, the two Red Bulls continue their lead, staying together, about 7/10 behind, gaining a slight lead over Cryptic, who's sitting in 3rd. Cryptic has a hefty lead over Jackson in the 4th place, who's in 4th. switching over to DeChiller as this mini train moves forward. And DRS now enabled. Let's see who's going to be willing to make a shot on the inside. If they're willing to take that risk, looks like nobody is going to bite. Same applies with the DRS train behind Globetrotter. Sam Steed, Tadpole, and Kieran and Beatnik involved in that one. Meanwhile, further up, back to Red Fire, still chasing Jaxta down. Now Jaxta is, well, Jaxta last we know, pending F2's fate, was going to be an F2 next season. He's not signed anywhere else for next season. So we'll have to wait and see what happens here as they come into the next corners. Meanwhile, Red Fire still chasing Jaxta down. Tadpole. Actually, Tadpole getting ambitious against Globetrotter. Globetrotter goes wide out of turn 1. And we have trouble. That is Kieran spun in turn number 2. Kieran was right behind Sam Steed as they were heading into turn number 2. And unfortunately now that leaves Tadpole at risk. Maybe not, as he goes down the inside against Globetrotter, but Globetrotter fighting back as they head into the chicane. Tadpole gets the head, but Globetrotter is now going to answer into the next DRS zone as he slingshots his way past and reclaims it. Nope, here goes Tadpole again, trying to fight. Tadpole stamps his foot and keeps Globetrotter back to claim 8th place. Great work for him. Meanwhile, Beatnik has trouble against the Haas pairing of Sam Steed and Globetrotter. Now, this is not good. Now, one thing that's not good is both Mercedes are out of the points. But the only plus side is that Tadpole, who's sitting in 8th, is a long ways away is a long way away from clearing to get 3rd place. Alpine is still quite a ways away. Like I said, Mercedes and oh, there goes Sam Steed spinning. Let's go back further up. Blonde has caught his teammate, and he's got DeChiller sniffing his back tail. 18 points ahead of Alpine at the moment. It's only a 3-point advantage for Alpine. And the AlphaTauris switch positions. Blonde to 4th, Jaxta to 5th. DeChiller looking to increase to get his recovery going. Chiller started all the way in 19th. He is up to 6th now. So here is our top 10 as we have completed lap 10 of this Grand Prix. It is Jack Reese, Cryptic Blonde, Jaxta, DeChiller, Red Fire, Tadpole, Globetrotter, and Beatnik. That is your top 10. If you're just joining us, this is RPL F1 Season 8. We are at the finale in Abu Dhabi. Jack Wanda claiming pole with a 22.9 for his best lap. We've had 3 retirements so far in this Grand Prix. We had a collision crash that resulted in a double DNF for Jacob and Stenner. That was the end of those guys in regards to that. That resulted in a safety car. Looks like Owen has gone for a spin in turn number 2. Lewis Piper, after getting involved in an altercation after spinning out in turn number 2, he unfortunately is going to be in the, he was out as well. Boss Cookie served his quality ban, was booted out because his internet went out, was unable to take control of his car, and the car, well, the game DQ'd him. That's unfortunate there, but anyways, Fanflow wound up clearing Wavy to get into the 11th place position. Unfortunately, he's got over 5 seconds to catch P10, which is Globetrotter. Meanwhile, let's go further up front. Now the Red Bulls are still maintaining a decent gap between each other. They're still building a slight lead over Cryptic, who's third. But meanwhile, the Chiller is trying to get past Jacksta to steal 5th place, but just can't seem to have an answer for it right now. Owen's still having problems. Still having problems as he is wiggling through his way to try to at least get a position locked. So here we go. As Owen's gone into the pits. He is out. That is the end of Owen. And Tadpole clears Red Fire into 7th. Now these two are teammates though. Oh, Red Fire had a little slip up. So I'm not sure. Is the tire starting to fall apart? Is the hard starting to fall apart too early for Red? Or did he have a bad exit out of turn 9? Anyways, Tadpole up into 7th. Now his next target is the Chiller, who is still trying to chase down the Alpha Tauris, but unfortunately, he's got no response for the Alpha Tauris. The Chiller having issues. Speaking of the Alpha Tauris, Blonde, by the way, 10.5 seconds behind Cryptic. And Jacksta goes walk. Jacksta went wide out of turn number 5. Was he helped off the track by the Chiller? But the Chiller is up in the 5th place. But the question was, we were unable to get the angle of it. Was Jacksta forced off? Meanwhile, Darius chasing down Blonde to try to etch his way into 4th. Where will he go? Well, Blonde covers him off. Let's see what the Chiller's got as he goes. See what the Chiller's got as he's trying to chase him down. Now, the gap that Reese had over Cryptic has shrunk down a few tenths. It was 1.7 seconds back on lap 10. Here we are in 13, and it is now 1.3. And starting to close. Wavy into the pits, has a track limit penalty, but he's in the pits and he got a track limit penalty. I think it is because of that glitch. He got that glitched warning, which got him that penalty. So if he did clip that, provides a race director and is within the points, Wavy could get that penalty removed. Now, Wavy was one of the drivers that started on the start of the race on the current set. Yeah, he was on the medium, so he's the first of the mediums to pit. And the question is when will the others respond? Oh, we got trouble. Darius is spun in turn 9. That's not good. Darius was hunting Blonde down for 4th. Did he get outsmarted by the Alpha Tauris? And Reese has gone in. So Reese has gone into pit, and he'll come. And let's see where he will come out once everything's done. There goes Jackson into the pits. That's going to promote Tadpole up into the 5th place position. And as they come down, Reese just coming into the exit as we speak. Where is Reese going to come out? I think he's going to come out just ahead of Globetrotter. And he does. Just ahead of Globetrotter. Now that's going to give Globetrotter DRS into the chicane. Now Reese is going to have a lap or two to get those hards up to temperature. And Reese is not wasting any time. He's going to try to make sure Globe does not stay in DRS for long. Now, the Chiller wound up pitting. He is in the 13th position. Now, Jaxa also pitted as well. He is in the 11th place position. Meanwhile, Blonde and Tadpole fighting for 3rd in the spoon corner. And Blonde, down the inside, managed to make it work and is up into P3 for now. Tadpole's gap to Cryptic, who's 2nd place, 14 seconds. And Jack currently 2 seconds ahead of Cryptic. Let's take a look at the gaps for the leaders right now. So Cryptic about 20 seconds clear of Reese. So I don't know if he winds up undercutting. I don't know if Cryptic is going to beat him out on that regard. Meanwhile, let's go on board. With Red Fire. As he's trying to reel Beatnik in. Beatnik just ahead, also reeling Blonde in. So a bit of a long DRS train for this 4-car fight for the 3rd place position. Now these guys, Tadpole pitted a little bit earlier. Same with Blonde. As you can see here, these guys wound up pitting on the first lap or so because of incidents they had happened, and that is what the case is there. Now Reese is working on it. There is Red Fire ahead. Now earlier in the season, Red Fire has been known to be a thorn in the side of some of the top drivers. Now the question is will he be a thorn to Reese? We're on board with the 2nd place driver. And Red Fire goes into the pits and he crossed the pit entry line. That looks like that could be a penalty on his part coming, as Tadpole, Blonde, Beatnik, and Red Fire all pit. See what happens when these guys are going to come out. I think they're going to come out just ahead of Beatnik. Not Beatnik. They're going to come out just ahead of Depth Knight. Let's see what happens here as Tadpole comes out. And they are all going to come out just ahead. They're all going to come out ahead of Depth Knight, who's sitting in 11th. So Red Fire in 10th, Blonde 9, Beatnik 8, and Tadpole in 7th. Now, Jaxa wound up pitting earlier, so Jaxa will stay ahead of Tadpole. Now, the next ones, Reese wound up pitting as well. Now, Globetrotter and Fanflo have... Oh, no, Fanflo has pitted. Globetrotter has not, and speaking of pitting, Jack is in. So, Jack is going to come out. I believe he will come out... Will he come out ahead of Reese? Or will Reese get ahead of him? I think he's going to come out ahead of Reese. Anyways, there he goes. Down the hill into the tunnel. Now Reese gets him. Reese is going to get him. And a 2-second gap between Reese and Jack. But Jack is on medium tires compared to Reese's hards. So Jack isn't going to have long to get those tires up to snuff. Now, meanwhile, Globetrotter and Cryptic have yet to stop. Fanflow did stop. He's on 16 lap all hard, so what? I don't know. Is he willing to risk going the rest of the race on the hard compound tire? I mean, that's going to be extremely ballsy if he can. Now, when Cryptic pits, he is going to be ahead of Globetrotter. Now, with Globetrotter pits, I mean, unfortunately, he's going to be just out of the points by the looks of it. Because, let's see, it's about 20-ish seconds. It's about 20-something seconds is how long the gap is. Yeah, it looks like Globetrotter is going to be actually going to be in the 12th place position by the time he comes in. And we have trouble in the background, and that's actually Depp Knight. That's spun out of the exit in turn 9. So that is not good for him. Globetrotter is in. Fanflow has actually come in. So it looks like Globetrotter and Fanflow will come out in the 10th and 11th positions. That's going to put Jax to the 4th, Tadpole to 5th, Beatnik 6th, Blonde in 7th, Redfire 8, and the Chiller will be in 9th. Now, Fanflow actually is going to beat the Chiller. Fanflow is going to beat Sam Steed. Not Sam Steed. Sam Steed's already out there. Globetrotter. Fanflow is going to beat Globetrotter out. Globetrotter is going to be in the 12th place position. Sam Steed in 11th. Meanwhile, the Red Bulls want to switch in. Jack will take back the net lead as he heads down into there. Let's see when Cryptic is going to be going in. Cryptic is still staying out. I think I know Cryptic's idea. He's going to go a little longer on those hards, and then he's going to pit and finish the race on the soft compound tire. That's most likely his plan. Now, when he comes out, he is going to be still in 3rd. But he'll be more likely to go for fastest lap. And also, I mean, depending on when he comes out, he could possibly challenge for 2nd, but he may not be fast enough to go for the win. But I'm thinking maybe Cryptic might be hoping for a safety car. If he's hoping for a safety car, then if a safety car does happen, Cryptic will go into the pit, get on the sauce, and he'll still stay ahead. I think he will still stay ahead. Maybe. But it just depends on what's going to happen. But meanwhile, we're still focused on this little train here between Tadpole, Beatnik, and Blonde as Wavy has gone for a spin in turn number 1. I don't think is Wavy moving. Yes, he is. He is going. Didn't look like if he was moving for a 2nd, but he's off and away. Anyways, here we go into the DRS. Beatnik is still trying to hound Tadpole on. That's for the 5th place position. Tadpole really pushing it close on the track limits, but he still stays within bounds. So no issue for there. But Beatnik is just putting the pressure on him. Beatnik was involved in a couple of incidents, either with others or by himself so far this race, but he's doing a decent recovery, sitting in the 6th place position right now. And speaking of which, the gaps here, Cryptic 10.6 seconds ahead of Jack, and that lead is falling fast. Meanwhile, Cryptic is also 12.5 ahead as Wavy goes for another spin, this time in turn 9. Wait and see what happens with Wavy here. Cryptic is currently going around Spoon Corner, so Wavy could be at risk of going a lap down. And Wavy has crashed. This could change it. Safety car? VSC. A VSC deployed. Well, this is gonna be interesting, but Cryptic is going in, and he'll get onto the sock compound tire. So with the VSC, if the VSC plays a little long, Cryptic may not fall too far behind from Cryptic and Jack. Well, Reese is actually coming in, so Jack is gonna stay out and just hope he gets a decent lead over. Stays a decent lead over. We're just waiting on the VSC to end. When will it end? As Cryptic is coming out now. And it's about 6.2 seconds. And DRS back enabled. And Reese will jump ahead of Jacksta. Now Jacksta will get the benefit of DRS, but with only 7 to go, we'll have to wait and see what happens. The Chiller is in the pits as well. Death Knight into the penalty club. Now Jacksta will be happy to have DRS. Death Knight has crashed. There's no safety car because no one is close. Actually, oh no, Death Knight has retired on the track. That's gonna most likely be a penalty on his part. You can't retire on track during a session. So that's gonna put Kieran up into the 13th, and he is actually gonna come in. Now he will go a lap down. Meanwhile, Cryptic is working his might to try to get some ground onto, and Kieran has actually gone to the pits. He's out, so that's 7 drivers out with issues, with 1 for a DQ. Now Cryptic is now going to have to hunt down Jack to go for a possible race win. 5.4 seconds to gap. Meanwhile, Reese pulling a gap from Jacksta. Now, nice thing is that Jacksta is gonna be comfortable because Tadpole is not in DRS range as of yet. But will he actually get it to here? I think he might have gotten it. He does. So Tadpole gets DRS, which is a sigh of relief for him because he wouldn't mind. He would not mind keeping Beatnik off his tail. And Beatnik now has an Alpine to worry about with DRS. Now he has DRS, so that will be beneficial there. But as we move forward, looks like the Haas's could possibly switch up between Globetrotter and Sam Steed. These guys make their way through. And Jack, as he comes across the line to start off the next lap, Cryptic has gained 0.8 of a second on Jack. He set the fastest lap of the race too, 25.444. Only for Reese to respond with a 25.353. Just about a 10th faster. But now Jack, so like I said, Jack and Cryptic, the gap 4.8 seconds on the start of that lap. We'll see how much closer that gap is going to be on the next lap. Now, Cryptic, last lap gained 0.8. To Chiller into the fastest lap booth with a 25.1. That's going to prevent Reese from trying to secure a fastest lap point. Meanwhile, Tadpole still hounding Jacksa, but Jacksa still staying firm to keep that Alpine behind and even pressure the Alpine into dealing with the Mercedes. And that's also going to bring Blonde probably closer. Let's go on board with the leader, Jack. Let's go with the leader now, Jack. As he comes across the line, there's going to be 5 laps to go. And there's Cryptic right there in the background,
Gap 3.8 seconds. So Cryptic has gained a second on Jack. So by the looks of it, at this moment, if the pace continues as it is, Cryptic will have Jack caught with 2 to go. So I'm thinking probably Jack and Cryptic are going to have a last lap fight to finish the season off. Now, Cryptic would love to have a win in the Ferrari. Now, Cryptic's last win, let me just take a quick look here. Actually, Cryptic has not won yet. Cryptic has not won yet this year. So Cryptic is chasing his first win of Season 8. While Jack is chasing his first ever F1 Tier 1 win. And looks like Jaxa came out horrid in the chicane as Tadpole and Beatnik both get by him. Beatnik looking on the outside against Tadpole. On board with Tadpole. Oh boy! Oh boy! Did Beatnik get loose? I think Beatnik might have gotten loose and Tadpole drifted up into him. Whoa, Tadpole! Oh boy! Tadpole, the car is getting more evil on him. Loses the 5th place spot to Blonde. Maybe there was I think there was contact between the two as well. Meanwhile, Jack and Cryptic, by the way, 3.3 seconds. So Cryptic's only gained half a second on Jack. I mean, literally in the chicane, we just saw Jaxa have a problem on the chicane exit, losing the spots to Tadpole and Beatnik. Then Tadpole and Beatnik had a scuffle in the spoon corner. Wowee. Now Jaxa is back in the 4th spot and now has a buffer courtesy of his teammate Blonde. Now Sam Steed is head off into the pits, so I'm thinking he is probably he's gonna get himself onto the soft tire compound. I don't know if the Haas will get himself into the fastest lap territory, but looks like when he comes out, he is gonna be lapped by the Red Bull of Jack. But I mean, if he stayed, no, actually he's gonna be decently ahead. Anyways, Cryptic now lost 4 tenths to Jack. Jack is putting on the storm here with only 3 to go. Jack, like I said, chasing his first ever Tier 1 win. If he does that, Jack is going to be the 31st different RPL Tier 1 winner. Cryptic still hunting for a win this year, and there's Blonde being fought by Tadpole. Tadpole saying, "Hello, how you doing? I'm coming in." But Blonde, just a straight line speed, and stays ahead. Little scrape between those two. Little scrape of the wheels between Blonde and Tadpole, but Tadpole still maintaining in that 6th place position. And these guys have no ERS. Beatnik is maintaining his, sort of. Well, I think Tadpole is just trying to put insane pressure onto Blonde to force him into making a mistake. Meanwhile, Beatnik right there, 2 to go now. Jack's gap has increased, so Jack looks like is not going to have to worry about Cryptic's lunge. And I think Cryptic thought maybe for a safety car would have happened. Didn't get it in the form of the VSC. So Cryptic, unfortunately, is going to have to settle for 2nd. And Jack, he just has to play it nice and calm to go for his first win in RPL F1. Meanwhile, Tadpole still chasing Blonde down, but just can't seem to have an answer. I mean, literally into the chicane, Blonde 207, Tadpole 203. So AlphaTauri showing on some powerful speed and matching the Alpines. Sam Steed into the penalty club now. Now he comes out of the final corner. Jack starts his final lap. Now Jack is looking forward for it. Here goes Tadpole down the inside. This little shove to Blonde. Blonde responds, shoves Tadpole wide. Got some hard-fought racing between these two. These two are not willing to give up an inch. I mean, literally, this is for 10 points on this mark. Now, unfortunately, this means now, right now, Mercedes is looking to secure third in the constructors, because Tadpole is only going to get a 2-point advantage for the Alpine team, and that will not be enough. Anyways, here we go. As these guys work on their way through. And look at this. He checking out the map. He is starting off his final Sector 3 of the season. Now, Jack, 18 F2 wins, 13 Tier 2 wins, and he is now going to join the club with Luke Seither, Reese TB, and others. Jack is an RPL F1 winner. He wins in Abu Dhabi. Cryptic will claim second. Reese will come on home to finish in P3. Jacksta holding on to stay into the 4th place position. Fanflor is spun in the spoon. That's not what he wants. And look at this race, hard down into there. We have Jacksta 4th. Tadpole gets 6th. Blonde 5. Beatnik 7. Meanwhile, Brettfire will have to settle for 8th. Now Globetrotter, 3-second time penalty. He is gonna fall to 11th. Fanflow will claim 10th, and the Chiller will claim Fanflow will get 9, and the Chiller will claim 10. What a way to finish that season! And look at driver of the day, Jacksta. I will have to say, I would have to say I would agree. He put on a strong fight to hold off Blonde, Tadpole, and Beatnik to claim 4th. But honestly, if I want to really say who's driver today, let's give it to Jack. First RPL F1 win, and he is going to keep it. No post-race penalties on him, no doubt. No post-race penalty to ruin that moment, but Jack does make it happen. Wow. But what a way to end the season with a first-time winner. You gotta love that. So, there is your finish. So, there's your finish right there. So, Jack is your first ever RPL F1 Tier 1 winner. Cryptic is 2nd. Reese 3rd. Jack's 4. Blonde 5. Tadpole 6. Beatnik 7. Redfire 8. Fanflow will be 9. The Chiller gets the fastest lap, so he is 10th as well. Globetrotter 11th. And then Sam Steed is 12th. And the DNFers, you got Kieran, Depth Knight, Wavy, Owen, Lewis Piper, Jacob, Stenner, and, well, the disqualifier, Boss Cookie. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Well, what can I say? What a season we had for RPL F1 for Season 8. We've seen so much over the course of the year. We've seen drama, we've seen fights, we've seen drivers go head to head. We've seen wrecks, we've seen force-offs, we've seen intentional wipeouts. So much. We've seen so much that season. And I'm going to say, without a shadow of a doubt, Season 8, in my opinion, is the best season of RPL F1 that I have ever been for commentary for. Now, I raced Season 1, so I can't say much on that. Season 2, sporadic appearances. Season 3, again, sporadic commentary appearances. Did commentary full-time from Season 4 onwards. But literally, in my opinion, Season 8 is probably the best F1 season I've seen in this league so far. Change my mind and fight me if you disagree. But what a phenomenal season, no doubt. So this guy that I have highlighted, Jack, give a round of applause to him for getting his first ever Tier 1 win. Cryptic putting up a hard fight, couldn't get it done for P2. Now, the guys that are not here, let's also give some more thanks to some other drivers. Let's give a thank you to, now he is not in the lobby anymore, but let's give a big thank you to Reese for putting on a great show all season long and for his fight for the championship. Let's also give a thank you to TB, the Season 8 champion. He fought hard as well, dealt with a difficult teammate and struggles, but he managed to claim the championship done. Scyther put a hard run in the beginning of the season. Missed some races, but he still maintained a strong fight to the end. Luke was in Alpine for pretty much first half of the season. Second half was on a resurgence. Came close to looking for another championship, but couldn't get it done. Big thank you to him. Another group, a group that we should also thank. We should thank the RPL admins and the owners, being Luke, Owen, DeChiller, Jack, and Groggers, for these guys for their continued hard work to provide great entertainment for the fans that watch our streams week in and week out, and provide fun entertainment and strong drivers to make a great, compelling season. Beatnik, who's here, who's over there as well. Just want to give a slight thank you to him for being in the commentary box with me a couple of times in the year. It was fun having him around. And yeah, but the biggest thank you is to all you fans, all the viewers that have watched our streams, those that have followed our Twitch, those that are subscribed to our YouTube. We say thank you for being with us for this journey for F1 Season 8. We say goodbye to F1 22. We will say hello to F1 23 in due time. But we will see. We'll be waiting until, and we'll fill in on when those will be occurring. So, for the final time on F1 22, this is Ty and Ironwolf saying good night. Have a great one. And we will see you in July for F1 Season 9 on F1 2023. Good night, fellas!